Hi, this is János, it's Real World Audio, and I was listening in the past couple hours music on La Grande, and actually what we have been doing with Nelly, because both of us were listening to records, but not just us, Much is here too in her favorite box. Now you see she has been working on it quite a bit and she chewed off a lot. So if you see pieces like there, those cardboard pieces, they come from her box, and that's her work. This is her one of her occupations. So coming back to the music, so we've been listening to music, to albums that we have duplicates of, and a couple before I get to the Hiroshimas. So the Hiroshimas are why I'm making this video, but now a few more, just some interesting things what you can expect when you have vinyl and you are having fun with it. So we had 2 copies of the Stevie Nicks album, and this is the one that I sorted out. It's going away. And interestingly, side B sounds great and side A sounds muffled. It's just like, sounds like it's a pressing error. And on the other copy, side B even sounds better than this, and side A sounds great as well. So that's why when you hear things like which is better, digital or vinyl, it doesn't make any sense, because each vinyl, LP, record copy is different from one another, and you can get a dud, maybe there's a pressing error, and it sounds meh. It doesn't just sound meh, but all the songs on side A, because of that dullness, they just sounded like I don't even want to have this album, and these songs suck. And on the other copy that didn't have that pressing defect, all those songs were really enjoyable, and we are keeping this record, not this, but the one that sounds good. And now, something even weirder, another Fleetwood Mac. We were listening to our Fleetwood Mac collection, Tusk. This is a very nice album. I mean, the way it's put together and the inserts and everything. But funnily enough, the second track on it and had some really weird stuff going with it. It sounded as if the turntable had some problems and it wasn't spinning fast enough, so it just was slow down. So it has a really weird pressing error. We had another copy of it, and that didn't have that problem, so there the speed was stable. But here something funny was going on when they made this LP, and this is going out. Luckily, the other one is a promotional copy and a much better pressing than this. And apart from lacking this problem, it also sounds quite a bit better. So this one, bye-bye. We are just getting rid of it. Okay, so now this is, we are getting to our main attraction of the day. It's Hiroshima and the 2 copies. So I have an original Hiroshima and a Mobile Fidelity half-speed master reissue of the same. And it's not just the half-speed mofi reissue, but it's a promotional copy. So it's a cream of the cream from the mofi, and it's interesting because so far, whenever I heard these half-speed original remasters and compared them to the originals that I had, I did that for many of the Pink Floyd's albums that I have. What else? Alan Parsons and the Project. I have a couple of these mofis and the originals. In every single case, the originals whip the mofis butt like there's no tomorrow. When Erwin was here, my buddy, we were listening to a Pink Floyd album, and we were almost crying. The difference was so big, and then he was just incredulously staring at me. Why would anyone buy these reissues? They just suck big time compared to originals. And what we noted there is just for the MoFis, the high frequencies are turned up, like plus 6 dB from the original, and the bass is lacking a lot. And they just artificially cleaned up the low signal level to get rid of the noise floor. They also got rid of the low level signal too. So those were those few records that we've been listening to. I don't know if this applies to all of the MoFi original masters, these half-speed masters, but certainly in this case it does not apply. So this is the first MoFi that I heard in this original master recording, the half-speed masters, where actually the remaster sounds in the audiophile respect way better than the original, and I mean way better. And this is not because I have a junk original copy. This original copy sounds really good, in fact. However, the MoFi, there the bass is much more prominent, so when they are plucking the bass, then it's very clean. And when they are singing, when they have the koto there and the taiko and everything, the singing, it sounds like they almost like re-recorded the entire album with like much better microphones, much cleaner setting, and it's just so much more audiophile. Everything is there, like 300% more clear, way better bass, more exact, more precise, everything there. But the soul is lost, it's gone. So both of us noticed, Nelly noticed too, that something is missing from here. And that's what was my thought, that even though it just sounds so good, but I just don't want to listen to this album anymore. The original one, it was not so there. I could feel the 80s, the feeling, the sentiment, why this album was created, what it's saying. There's the message. The message is at the front. And that the people are playing together, and it's a music. The music is one unit. And in the remaster, it has fallen apart. It's like the dozen individuals who recorded in a studio a music individually, and they are not in touch with each other. It kind of reminds me of this is going to sound really bad, and might be a very bad imagery for some of you, but it almost sounds like that sort of musical masturbation that a lot of jazz musicians do when you go to these performances where the musicians, each of them is in his own separate bubble, and they seem to be lost and just are enamored with their instrument and focused on his guitar, how it sounds, and he doesn't realize that he has totally lost the connection with the audience. Or the drummer who is there and who is just into the sound of his own drums, and he is not noticing that he's totally killing, absolutely butchering and murdering the performance. So that's what the remaster reminds me, is that a bunch of musicians who are closed in, forcedly into a room to make a recording, but they don't really care for each other. There's no human emotion present. They are just given the score, they play it, they go home, job done, that's it. And yeah, so this is it. When you listen to music, it excites emotions in you. It excites feelings. It excites thoughts, and I think that's what music is about, to arouse something in you, to create a response. Because if you just sit there and you just listen and try to think whether it's like, does it sound like it sounded in the studio or some BS like that, what's the point there, guys? If you want studio sound, then go work in a studio, you know, whatever. So I think the point in me is when you listen to music, then you want to get the message that the musicians wanted to give to you, or the message that the recording engineers, so the people involved in creating it, there's somewhere a message, and if it can come through from the album, then that's really wonderful. And this is a prime example here, that the remaster here just totally, completely, 100% shifted the focus of this album. The original, that's the message of the musicians, and the remaster, that's the message of the engineer. And the two are completely different, and although the original event that was recorded, it's the same, but the way the engineers presented it to us made them literally night and day. So, and also you might be wondering why I'm not giving you sound samples. That's because in the background we are both doing our projects, making noises, and I really wasted so much of my time today on the channel, like, you know, answering comments and uploading videos and everything. Don't get me wrong, it's not a waste of time, but you know, I don't have too much free time, and really I have to get going with things, because if I just, you know, post videos, answer comments, then there's really nothing done. And if you guys want also some progress to be had, like for example building speakers or working on amplifiers or something like that, showing you actual stuff, then I need to find time to make it. And so for example today, what I am right now, I have been working at, that's what you can see. Maybe let's just go in there. As you see, that is my Darling amp. Actually it was Tamás's Darling amp, and I have been rebuilding it, completely rewiring, recapping it, and I've already shown a few videos on this project, but now there's Kintaro. I'm continuing. I'm trying to finish it within a week, to make it, to breathe life into it so it can play, because I'm really curious how it can work with these little babies. So is 0.7 watts, what can it do with Legrand? Because I have shared the Darling project, and I'm getting just amazing feedback on the success with those who have built it. And for example, Tilk has just today sent me pictures of his Darling build and more on the feedback. And yep, so what I'm going to do is that we'll hook it up to Legrand, and because right now I am using the 20 watt per channel push-pull amplification with it, and we shall see how much, what can it do with 1 watt or a little less than 1 watt. And I will also hook it up to the big boys, to the voiceover Lancelot, to see what less than 1 watt can do with those big ones, and do you need more than 0.7 watts or not. As Tilk is saying in his emails, it's much more than he ever needs, because he also has speakers which are as efficient as my voiceover Lancelots. He also has Altec speakers with same large format drivers, the 604E, and yep, and I will share on that as well. Thank you, Tilk, so much for sharing your journey with me, with us, with the channel. And that's it for today. I'm going back to building the Darling amplifier, and since Machi has fallen asleep, if you like my videos, especially this one, then please like it. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get noticed of new videos. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy Machi a coffee. Of course, you heard the ears big perk up at the sound of coffee. Anything relating to food and nourishment, they react immediately, even if they are completely asleep. So, bye bye.